Can't wait. 100 days from now, we will have kickoff. Let's welcome in senior NFL writer Pete Prisco. Pete is here for some Prisco proclamations for the 2022 season. He has 4 of them, as it turns out. Now, Pete, the floor is yours. Give us proclamation number 1.
The Dallas Cowboys will miss the postseason. And I know a lot of people will say, what? In that division? Who's going to win the division? I already think the Eagles are my pick to win the division. I think Washington's going to be much better, and Dallas might end up being 3rd in that division. Here's the problem with the Cowboys. Can they rush the passer? And you'll sit here and say, well, Micah Parsons had a great year rushing the passer last year, but that takes him out of what they want to use him for, which is to play inside linebacker. That's one big issue. Remember, Randy Gregory isn't there. DeMarcus Lawrence didn't have a bunch of sacks last year. So rushing the passer, major concern. Can they get Sam Williams, a rookie, to become an effective edge rusher? That's another question. Now flip it to the offensive side of the ball. We know they've had a bunch of injuries on the offensive line. That's impacted that team in a big way. Can Tyron Smith stay healthy? Big issue there. Can Terrence Steele step up and be a good right tackle? Can they run the ball with Zeke Elliott, who says he's in great shape, but everybody's in great shape at this time of the year? And then there's the passing game. CeeDee Lamb is going to really elevate his game, I think, but who else? Michael Gallup coming off a major knee. I think there's a lot of questions with this team. They got to hope Jalen Tolbert, who I like, can really step up as a rookie. So if you're leaning on rookies for being big parts of your team early in the season and throughout the season, particularly as a pass rusher and a pass catcher, that's an issue.
Oh, Danny, go the other way.
So I'm going the other way. I actually have, we're going to do later on our show, some of our favorite division winner picks, and I like the Cowboys. So I think you rule out Washington and the Giants. I mean, the Giants have been atrocious. I'm not a believer in the Carson Wentz reclamation project getting another opportunity with Washington. I do think Philly is interesting, but I'm not buying into the Eagles just yet. I also think the Cowboys, there's a ton of pressure on Mike McCarthy and company. I think there is a sense of urgency, especially the way the playoff run ended last year, getting basically run all over. But I'm a big believer in Micah Parsons doing even more this year and possibly being in for the Defensive MVP award nominations, probably being in the mix for that conversation. And then a lot of this goes to Dak Prescott. I think this is going to be a massive year for Dak Prescott, who I think we forget how horrific that injury he was, or how horrific that injury he went through just a couple seasons ago. Last year was sort of the get your feet back underneath you. This year, with a lot of those young receivers, I do think that is an issue, but I think Dak Prescott will be able to put more of the Cowboys on his back this season and take them to the division title here in the East.
Well, and you look at it, I mean, the Cowboys have missed the playoffs in 3 of the last 5 seasons. They haven't made it past the divisional round since winning the Super Bowl. They haven't had back-to-back double-digit win seasons since 1995 and 1996. So, Pete, they have tied for the easiest schedule in the NFL, so that is a very brave proclamation that you have there. So what happens, Pete, if they do miss the playoffs in terms of Mike McCarthy?
Well, I think you'll probably see a change there. It depends. I mean, if Dak Prescott went down and they didn't miss the playoffs, that's not on Mike McCarthy. But if they play out with their key players being healthy and they do not make the playoffs, I think there will be a change there. And Sean Payton's name is in the mix. I think Sean Payton's going to coach next year. It's just a matter of where. And if the Cowboys' job came open, clearly Jerry Jones has an affinity for him. And I think that would be his job as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys if they don't make the postseason this year under Mike McCarthy.
I agree with you. I think Mike McCarthy might be one of the coaches with the most pressure on him and expectations to win. The division's light. Jeremy mentioned the schedule is going to be easy. I think if there's something that we know, Jerry Jones doesn't want to be patient and wait around and kind of wait through the thick and thin. And the massive elephant in the room that Pete mentioned is Sean Payton on the sidelines, who I do think will get back into the coaching realm. And it's always been mentioned there, the possibility to go to Dallas. If that opens up, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't take very much for the Cowboys to falter. I don't think it has to be like a 4-win season. I think they could just miss the playoffs in Pete's scenario, something like that, and you could see a change. But I think Mike McCarthy holds off the heat. I think he lasts. I think the Cowboys get to the playoffs.
It's going to be very interesting. I mean, that first month of the season, we'll see how the Cowboys do. If they start slow, maybe Jones is going to pull that trigger sooner rather than.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.